So, Palm Springs IVF Clinic bomber ID'd as Guy Edward Bartkus, a pro-mortalist who opposed people being born without their consent. Well, I'm not sure there's any other way for it to happen. So a fertility clinic was bombed in Palm Springs. So, yeah, probably not MAGA, right? 25-year-old self-described pro-mortalist has been identified as the attacker who detonated a car bomb outside a fertility clinic in Palm Springs Saturday, killing himself and injuring 4 other people. So right there, dead behind the eyes. This looks like if Greta Thunberg had a boyfriend, that would be him. Only he would also be a tree. Let's see. Bartkus allegedly described his fanatical pro-death beliefs in written and recorded manifestos as being against bringing people into the world without their consent to spare them from future suffering. On Saturday, FBI agents swarmed his home and evacuated the neighborhood, declaring it a blast zone over concerns that he could have left explosives behind. Now, if there was a picture of this guy standing on a street somewhere and there was like an American flag barely visible somewhere in the distance, they would call him far-right MAGA extremist immediately. So this is the New York Post. I don't see anything about far-left extremism here. This guy is some sort of like extreme Malthusian. Just doesn't think there should be people on the planet at all. In fact, we've got some of the things that he's written here, allegedly from him, but it seems to be pretty solid so far. And yeah, this, if you're going to call it anything, this has to be, these are left-wing themes in this. But nowhere will you see him be called a far-left extremist. Not in conservative media. Certainly not in like the LA Times. We'll get to there. They have an interesting take on it, the LA Times, that may not surprise you at all. Now, this guy is a nutcase, but he's a political nutcase, right? It's got a manifesto. So why it bothers me, the terminology around these different kinds of acts, is that, a teleprompter reader on whatever ABC News or CNN or whatever will talk about how, the vast majority of violence comes from the right. And they'll just somebody who's anti-government, just any kind of, tiny string they can connect to somehow justify calling it right wing. They will do that. And they'll say, no, there's nothing coming from the left. It's all from the right. But they ignore everything from the left, right? I mean, was there any far left extremism in 2020 during the Summer of Love? How about when the communists took over like 3 city blocks in Seattle? Was that far left extremism? Yes, but they don't count it. That's the problem. The last 7 mass shooters have all been they, thems, who are all political. They don't count. They're just mentally ill. This is this trick that they play. And we're going to see some of the framing in this LA Times article we're going to get to in a second. So here from Andy No, the man who died bombing the fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California, allegedly did it as an act of war against the pro-life and pro-natalist movement. A manifesto allegedly written by the man was posted online before the bombing. It has some similarities to the rantings of the far left, who also hate Christianity and view being pro-life as fascist. If you're using these same standards, as the left does for right-wing extremism, this guy's a left-wing extremist. Of course, this will never be recorded as such. It'll be ignored. But this is. So what is the end goal? The end goal is for the truth, phylism, to win. And once it does, we can finally begin the process of sterilizing this planet of the disease of life. I think we need a war against the pro-lifers. So right here, you can just immediately say, if you're using the same standards that the left does, this is far left extremism, and it should be counted as such. Let's see. What group of philosophies does this all relate to? Negative utilitarianism, Ephelism, abolitionist veganism, basically philosophies that have realized religion is retarded. So anti-religion, anti-Christianity. The philosophy here is everybody has to die. The "I want everybody to die" philosophy is just a bad philosophy. I mean, not everybody is miserable. You're going to burn in hell for this. I know, not a question, but I wanted to say your God definitely doesn't exist, but if he did, I'd choose Satan over your evil God. Did you ever think that maybe the Bible is just slander against Satan, blah, blah, blah? This is a leftist. Let's see. Pro-mortalist, you're just pro-psycho killer. So what's his response to that? No, understand your death is already a guarantee, and you can thank your parents for that one. All a pro-mortalist is saying, let's make it happen sooner rather than later. So all we're saying is that we want everybody to die right now and for there to be no humans on the planet. That's all we're saying. It's not like we're being unreasonable. Yes, crazy. Some similarities to the rantings of the far left, who also hate Christianity and view being pro-life as fascist. I don't know. Do you think this guy's MAGA? I feel like he's not MAGA. Like they tried to claim that the Butler, Pennsylvania shooter was pro-Trump, right? I mean, that's how insane it is. But they frame it so that there's this narrative that all the violence, and they say this, no, all the violence comes from the right. The problem is they just don't count anything from obvious leftists. Is this just a normal guy? No, I think the people who commit these kinds of crimes are never just normal people, are they? But if it's political, this is clearly political in nature. If they're going to call just anything, no matter how ridiculous, right-wing extremism, you have to call this. If they actually did, well, and they're not going to do this, right, because it's the wrong narrative, but they actually did, they would give the American public of what's happening in their country, but that's not their job. So Los Angeles Times. So this is an example of what I'm talking about here, the narrative control. As Palm Springs reels in wake of clinic bombing, authorities name suspect and say city is safe. So they generally go through here and just explain what was happening. They talk to a few locals. Then down at the end of the article, we see this. Adam Neal and Todd Danforth, two other Palm Springs residents, said they have many friends who have relied on fertility clinics to start families. They said it didn't feel as if the attack targeted LGBTQ people, but it certainly sent a message that rippled through the community in a town long known as a queer mecca. What? This has nothing to do with it, aside from the fact that I guess just the lunatic, the far left lunatic who did this just wanted everybody dead, including all of the identity groups as well. But there's no need to throw this in here. This is a total red herring. This is to frame it so you walk away from it feeling like, well, this was somehow right wing. That this is the drip, the drip of propaganda, of social engineering, of narrative control. The drip. This is just another little drip of that. They said it didn't feel as if the attack targeted LGBTQ people, but it certainly sent a message that rippled through the community in a town known as a queer mecca. This has nothing to do with anything. This was put in there for a reason. It's for a reason. It's to trick the public, their reading public, into walking away from it feeling like, yeah, this is right-wing people are bad. Somehow this is right-wing. Somehow it's right-wing. It has nothing to do with anything. This is social engineering right here. This is social engineering 101. This is framing 101. Again, they're not there to educate you. They're not there to inform you. They're there to manipulate you. And this is just a perfect example of that. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.